Cool.
So last we were talking about embrace the darkness. Is there any? Let's just real I guess real quickly. Is there any hope that we'll see embrace the darkness or even the other incomplete demo track that was worked on in that recording?
Well, I think there might be an embrace the darkness somewhere. I mean, I would be surprised if it didn't at some point come back and get, you know, worked up or go somewhere or whatever. I wouldn't like to see it,
Right.
you know, uh, out of context go out. But
Is that like a period decision or is that everybody?
well, it's like any of the publishing decisions, you know, and any of that stuff. It is basically Perry's decision because even though there is there is a an affectation of a democracy, in practical reality, Stephen and Dave do what they're told, and Perry dictates. So even if they said, okay, the four of us are making a decision on Embrace the Darkness going out, if they contacted me, which they might not, um, if I said my vote is no, the way that I have on publishing things, like, do you want to, you know, sell Been Caught Stealing the Crest or whatever, um, uh, my vote would be no. But I also understand that the practical reality is that this isn't a democracy. It's you know,
So they might
it's
not even
whatever.
contact you on a situation like that if they have the other
What's
three.
that?
Or, they might not contact you on a situation like that if they have the other three to vote. Or
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, because as it turns out, I only just learned this. As it turns out, I actually have somewhat of a veto power for the publishing stuff, and I didn't know that I did.
okay,
Because it just is one of those weird things that because my publishing company's a different publishing company than
yeah,
those guys all have their publishing at a different company,
yeah,
that those publishing companies would never go to war. So if there was any dissent, then it just wouldn't happen. And I didn't know this.
oh,
You
okay,
know, like I've been operating under the like, well, it's the four of us deciding or whatever. So all these years I could have been putting the kibosh on all the selling Jane songs to the wrong people and stuff.
right.
I didn't know that, but anyway, so
What about the instrumental track? Do you think it could be released or leaked?
no, definitely not,
No.
because that never got the proper like work, never got worked up the same way that Embrace the Darkness did, you know.
Did
Um,
did that sound
it
more Jane's Addiction to you than Embrace the Darkness, or less, or
well, it definitely had like when it first got started, I had high hopes. Perry was deeply stoned, as was Steven. Um, I was playing this bass line. I'm actually using the bass line. It'll be coming out in one of my songs. But I did this bass line. Perry liked it, and it had sort of a stony, weird, that sort of cool,
yeah,
um, smoky vibe that Perry said Jane's Addiction wasn't, even back in the day. Um, I guess it wasn't dark.
yeah,
Is the is the new take. But anyway, and so it had this sort of smoky vibe, and then that's all that it just stopped there. It never got to the next step because Perry didn't write lyrics, and when he started to write lyrics, they were douche chill material, and it's just all about Israel and stuff like that, and just out there. Um, and so it just never got worked up. I mean, it was always like there was like a sort of basic drum track and a basic
okay.
first ideas sort of were put down, but it never got developed. Um,
So you wouldn't
so it
think,
wouldn't be that cool, you know, Jane's track that I would be proud to have
yeah,
people hear.
you wouldn't think about using, like you said, you're going to use the bass line. You wouldn't think about recreating that with Dave and Steven, or
Well, I had the thought, and actually, it's funny because I use Steven's drum track. I mean, you can't even really tell it's Steven, because the drums are processed. They're sort of like um, they're really processed, like in a particular way, and I pitched them up really high, and they have this. They're totally different.
yeah.
But I did have that thought, because actually during the time too, I was thinking, well, fuck, it's a really good band. Why don't we do a band with Trent? Or, like, why don't the three of us do something with, like that was definitely something that passed,
Oh yeah.
through my mind. I mean, if one guy's really not into it, which he really wasn't, uh, no reason why we shouldn't keep going. But I mean, for a lot of reasons, I don't think that would happen.
So you got to Embrace the Darkness, and I guess you decided to do Fours and Chip Away, or is that?
Yeah.
I guess that's a band decision to fill out the record, or was this originally talked about?
This was talked about originally as part at some of the early meetings about doing the Ninja Tour. That we were going to do initially it was going to be at point of purchase. Like when you bought your ticket, you would get this download.
Yeah.
And and the thinking at the time was we'll do an old song since the story is sort of like it's Lollapalooza, Redux, 91, Nails and Janes, and that whole story was sort of being created. Then the thinking sort of was, why don't we just do some recording of an old songs that never got proper studio recordings.
Yeah.
And Trent would do something similar, and we would, and so it was originally actually going to be with a ticket, but we eventually wound up, I think it was Trent's idea, to just give it away rather than make it sort of forced at some point of purchase or whatever.
Right.
And so we actually were getting a little bit ambitious, thinking that maybe we could make a new song that would also be part of that.
Yeah.
And so that was the thinking.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
the new songs were, you definitely wanted to do old songs, but the new songs were kind of hopeful, a hopeful thing. So what, if you could speak for Perry a moment, what did he think of Embrace the Darkness? Do you know?
Yeah, he likes it.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. He wanted to go out, and he wanted to have a meeting at the at the at the South by Southwest and stuff. And
yeah. So there's a chance we might see something. Would there be a chance we'd see him performing it live or anything like that? Or
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I
couldn't
guess
tell you. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
he has the right to do that, I suppose.
I don't know what that means, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing Jane's Addiction songs.
You wouldn't
without Jane's Addiction, but I don't think I would take legal action against him if he started playing it live. I'm sure it would be a great version.
Yeah. Well, it'd be his original version without you goofballs, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the rest of the recording process went pretty smooth then when you went back to the old songs.
Well, that stuff we just sort of, I mean, well, for the basic tracks, Steve and I, it's like it was like done in 10 minutes. It's just like so fast, and the guitar took some. I mean, just sort of like the way it used to be. The guitar took some time, especially the solo took a really long time.
Yeah, he likes to do a lot of tracks, Dave, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
is Trent recording at the same time as this, or his stuff?
Yeah, we're up at his house actually. you know, and 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 it's very sort of I mean, at that point I was excited because it was really like well, first of all, for me as a student of music, it was fascinating because it's like, Trent could be an engineer if he wasn't an artist. He could engineer any record, like he knows so much about the technical side of what's going on. And then Atticus Ross, same thing, is an engineer producer. And then Alan Moulder is an amazing mixing engineer. So to be able to watch that, like it was just in one big room, sort of in Trent's house. I mean, not even a really big room, but that was great because even when I wasn't tracking, I would just hang out to just sort of be a fly on the wall and raid Trent's fridge. So,
so how long a recording process was this? Just a few days, 10 days, or?
Not certain. I want to say it was longer than a few days.
Is everybody there every day, or is
No. No. Yeah.
There weren't
Generally
days
not.
where they were required to be there. I guess some days Perry would come in and Dave would come in, kind of like the old days.
Yeah.
Very much like that.